We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Hello, my name's David Seaman, and this is the Three Lions Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Three Lions Podcast. My name is Russell Osborne and this is an independent England football supporters podcast. I hope I find you well. We are doing this the hard way. It was another late one. Norway in Miami, Saturday night, 6 p.m. local time, 10 p.m. UK time. Of course it went to extra time. The general heat the country has been experiencing over the past few days, I found it really hard to sleep. The days I feel lethargic. I have to be honest, come kick-off yesterday, I was dog-tired. But like the team, found a way to push through. And then when it comes to trying to close my eyes afterwards, I'm running on adrenaline. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So as the tournament enters its last week, England, regardless, will play the full quota of 8 matches, just as they did in 1966, 1990 and 2018. Thank you so much for tuning in, not just this time, but all the previous episodes too. Really appreciated. I know for a fact I'm not talking to myself. You are listening. Thank you, wherever you are in the world. Coming up on the show, I will be joined by Gate 102 host Charlie Tidswell to look back on this Norway game. And also with Luciano Wernicke from Buenos Aires as we look ahead to Argentina in the semi-final of the World Cup. And once again, we will hear your thoughts too. I've mentioned the heat. And it was mentioned regularly by the ITV panel about it. Over in the States, this was the theory behind preparing against New Zealand and Costa Rica in Florida and having a training base in Kansas City. Thomas Tuchel made 2 changes to the team that faced Mexico. John Stones came in for the enforced change of Konsa, replacing the suspended Quansah, who incidentally faces a 2-match ban. Yeah, make that make sense. And Madueke replaced Bukayo Saka. As a game where both teams feeling each other out, mainly because of the heat. England prodding and probing, but ultimately not forcing a great deal. But again, as much as I don't like it, it was that defining moment of the hydration break that saw Norway up the tempo. Ødegaard beginning to dictate things. But it wasn't Haaland who broke the deadlock. It was Schjelderup with a cross-come shot. Shades of Ronaldinho in 2002. And then, in all honesty, they should have made it 2-on-1 situation. Then it really would have been panic stations. But when it mattered, Jude Bellingham, just before the break, took it upon himself to take the game by the scruff of the neck and get us back into it. Now, I didn't realise this at the time, but there is talk that in the build-up to that goal, the ball hit the wire of the spider cam, the overhead camera that circles the play. Now, I've watched it a few times, but I struggle to see where it actually does. But the Norwegian bench were adamant that it did. This came about from a kick from the Norwegian keeper. Goes up high, ball then drops to the England player and it eventually finds Bellingham, who scores. Now, on the replay, what is clear is that the keeper points this out to the referee. Whether it actually did, I don't know. FIFA, though, dearest FIFA, said that there was no reading from the ball, just like there was in the Croatia-Portugal game. Now, their Twitter account, at FIFA Media, they stated, before England's goal in minute 45+2 against Norway, the sensor in the connected ball showed no peak in the heartbeat of the ball when in the air, and therefore no evidence that the ball touched the overhead wire and changed the movement of the ball. Anyway, perhaps we were due a little luck. Second half came. Haaland, kicking himself he will be, that he found Elliot Anderson, pushing him over just before Hegem put it into the net. VAR intervening. We were riding our luck. Declan Rice, he was substituted for Eberici Eze. Rice clearly suffering. Now it appears he had an upset stomach in the days leading up to the game. You could see he was clearly off the mark with quite a few of his set pieces. I think actually the heat really got to him. So hopefully with a bit of rest, we will see him back to full fitness come Wednesday. Extra time came England's way, and I was fearing the worst. But it was that man, Jude Bellingham, once again, who dragged us through with an early goal after pouncing on a Morgan Rogers shot that frankly the keeper should have done better with. Bellingham, well, he's had the tournament of his life, hasn't he? Should we have had a penalty? Jed Spence had been brought on and found himself in the penalty area, taken down. Initially, I think we all thought it was a pen. But on reflection, I have to say I think he forced it slightly, putting his leg between the defender's leg. VAR once again getting involved. So we rode it out, and we are once again in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Okay, I'm delighted to welcome back to the show Gate 102 podcast host Charlie Tidswell. Charlie, hello, mate.
Hi, Russell. How are we doing?
I'm. You know how I'm doing. We're both feeling the same. Oh, what a night!
Amazing. Just another special England night, and it's just crazy. So I was reading a stat the other day about before 2018, the amount of knockout games we'd won, and then after 2018, I think we've won 12 in the last 5 tournaments. And it's just like, yeah, knockout games, and it's just so many special England nights, and you know, the one yesterday was just another one to add to that list, and yeah so special, and hopefully 2 more as well.
Hopefully, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. But you joined me sort of right at the beginning of this World Cup journey, where we spoke about it was the New Zealand and Costa Rica games, wasn't it, that were being played in Miami. I mean, just taking yourself back to that moment, did you ever envisage us getting this far?
Probably not the way we've done it, I think. We've had to show so much gut and determination. And I think it's great that we come back from behind. You think about all the knockout games, obviously the Congo game, we had to come back from behind. And then Mexico felt like everything went against us. The referee, I don't want to say it, but the altitude, everything seemed to go against us. And the togetherness, Tuchel's mentioned this brotherhood. I think that is the X factor that this England team have. It's, with all the talent we've got, it's the togetherness in the squad that's making us go this far. Yeah. And keeping us in the tournament. It's great, yeah.
I don't want to refer too much to it, but there was a moment after the game last night on the ITV coverage where Gabriel Clark spoke with Thomas Tuchel after the game. And I've forgotten the actual word now, that it was mentality, wasn't it?
That's, yeah.
They are showing the mentality. If they're not showing anything else, or they're showing resilience, they're showing mentality, they've got it all in abundance, haven't they?
Absolutely. And that's what you need, isn't it? To go through a tournament, you need mentality because you can have all the talent in the world, like we've seen in sort of old England teams, maybe before my time. But, we talk about the golden generation of 2006 and all that, and obviously before my time. But, they didn't really have the mentality, didn't have that togetherness. And that's what this team have got. And obviously Southgate sort of brought that in 2018. Tuchel's built on that this summer, which is great. And yeah, it's the mentality that's so key. And we're going to need that on Wednesday. Absolutely.
Aren't we just? Yeah. So where did you watch it last night?
I was at home, actually. Yeah, a few mates went to the pub, but I get too nervous, mate. So I have to watch it at home. So
yeah, no, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
So obviously Tuchel made a couple of changes. One of them obviously enforced with Quansah having to sit out 2 games. I mean, that first 20, well, the first period up until the hydration break, and I hate sort of dividing the game up like this, but it was just, it was so slow, but it was but both teams were prodding and prodding. I think England had sort of the upper hand really, but it was after that hydration break that Norway sort of turned it in their favour, didn't they?
Yeah, it just seems to go a bit wrong after that hydration break. But you're right. I mean, it does have such an effect on the game, and rightly or wrongly. But yeah, it was difficult because I think the first 20 minutes before that break, I mean, Anthony Barry said in his halftime interview about the climate. I think that was a key part. The climate must have been tough, and then I think England were controlling the game. I think we had over 70% possession. Again, the hydration break, you lose that momentum, and then it allows Norway to come back into the game, get some instructions. And yeah, it was almost a bit of a basketball game, really. They'd have a spell, we'd have a spell. It was interesting. But yeah, ultimately we came out on top, and that's the most important thing.
That's right. I mean, let's talk Jude Bellingham. I don't know how many superlatives you've got in your vocabulary, but how are we looking at Jude?
He's incredible, isn't he? He's just incredible. I mean, Bellingham's world class, isn't he? I read a stat the other day about Maradona and how he was the last player to score 4 goals in 2 games, like 2 consecutive braces in a World Cup. And, Jude's the first player to do that since. And, this is the level that Bellingham's at. He's amongst the greats now. And he'll go down as one of the best in history, regardless of what happens next week or this week. But if we win it, he definitely will. I know people might say he's arrogant, but I don't think he is at all. I think he's just got that swagger about him. And that's what you want and need for a player of his quality. And he just has that magic touch.
Yeah, I think what you like the arrogance that you say is just bordering on the right side, isn't it? I must admit, I was a little bit concerned yesterday when the fact that I knew he was on a yellow card, and it's just sometimes you can see him just tipping over to the other side, and I was like, "Oh, don't get yourself a yellow card in this game."
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? He's one of them players who's so up for it. He's got so much desire, and you don't want that desire to turn into sort of recklessness and getting booked. But thankfully, he did well yesterday. And I remember there was a bit yesterday when you could tell he wanted to push the ball away or move the ball away. But no, he chose not to. And I think, he's very mature, and yeah, good job he didn't get sent off, because we're certainly going to need him on Wednesday.
Yeah. Cause I mean, we've obviously know that we've got Bellingham and Kane. Both have scored 6 goals this tournament. Kane had a very quiet game yesterday, didn't he?
I suppose he did. But at the same time, he's got enough credit in the bank, and every player's allowed sort of a quiet game here and there. But even there were certain moments in the second half when he was coming deep, and sort of when England were a bit under the cosh, he was a few headers he won from corner.
I mean, we've spoken about Bellingham there, and number 10. The other number 10 that we're going to be facing is the one and only Lionel Messi of Argentina. What have you made of Argentina this tournament so far?
They've played well, haven't they? They've played well. They've just got that experience in the squad. I mean, some people, I suppose you could say that, but again, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I mean, Messi, he's got 8 goals. It's just 8 goals, and he's 39 years old. You know, he's just amazing, and it'll be really tough for England to come against him. I know we've never faced against him before, so it'll be an interesting game. But Argentina, you know, they've got obviously the reigning champions of this World Cup, so it's not going to be easy at all. And I spoke before about the mentality. I think that if we are going to beat Argentina, I think the mentality is what we're going to need. But the thing is, Argentina, they also have that sort of winning mentality. So
much like Erling Haaland for Norway, you don't just want to concentrate on that one player, do you? I mean, obviously Argentina have got so much class across the pitch. You don't want to be distracted by just one little man, do you?
No, absolutely not. And there's a danger of, you focus too much on one player, you leave other players sort of, you don't think about them as much. And, Messi's clearly their star player, but Argentina are a great team. McAllister, good player as well. He's someone I think we need to watch out for. So, they're a good team, and it's just about keeping everyone quiet, not just Messi.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we're keeping Messi quiet, then it's likely that we're doing well, because they do depend on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it'll be really, really, really important for England to be a real test. But the way we defended our last 2 games gives me real confidence going into this one.
Where are you going to be watching this one? Front room again?
Probably. I'm not sure yet. I'm not too sure, but yeah. I'm quite basic, maybe just like staying at home with my dad, really. So yeah, hopefully it's another special occasion.
Let's hope.
What about you, Russell?
Yeah, I'll chances are I'll be watching it from home again. It is just a case of getting to the pub, and if you can't get a full view of the telly, sometimes you don't want to say it, but sometimes there's a few people that make the experience not what you want it to be. I'm trying not to think about it too much at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be tough, won't it? But this is what you want, though, isn't it? This is what Tuchel's been brought in for these big occasions. This is what the players sort of want as well. It's going to be it's going to be one for the history books, regardless of what happens. England, Argentina, semi-final of a World Cup. Yeah, it's going to be a big one.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, indeed. Yeah.
Charlie, once again, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciated. Of course, you can find Charlie over at the Gate 102 podcast, looking at all of Gareth Southgate's 102 games that he was in charge of. I'm guessing that'll be back on the airwaves very soon, won't it?
It will do, mate. Yeah, I think next week, hopefully. So, really, really excited to be back. Yeah, can't wait. I've missed it so much. So, yeah, looking forward to speaking about, my first game's England-Switzerland in a friendly at Wembley. So, not as exciting as what's going on right now, but yeah, still looking forward to being back.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Charlie, thank you very much as always. And yeah, let's catch up soon.
Cheers, Russell. Thank you, mate.
Thanks to Charlie there. We had a few audio issues whilst recording. I'm hoping that I've managed to iron them out, disguise most of them. But once again, thanks to Charlie. Now, we mentioned about Thomas Tuchel and this mentality. This came about because of a post-match interview with ITV's Gabriel Clark, which seemed to gather a lot of controversy. From my own perspective, I know that Gabriel Clark has been working in this environment for ages, long time. He's generally asked probing questions, which of course journalists tend to. They try to get a reaction, which is what he's got here. I think it's more the turn of phrase, how he's done it. But I'm not quite sure the pile-on, is this necessary? That said, people are entitled to their own opinion. I've always had a thing about not taking journalists' thoughts not too seriously. Sometimes they're paid to give or get opinions to then pass on to those of us who pay to watch the same game they've watched, or an event. We can make our own mind up. We don't have to get frustrated by what journalists say. But it's good to see the passion that Thomas Tuchel is showing. Let's try and use it to our advantage.
There's no mentality problem. This is pure mentality. This is pure mentality. You can bottle it up and sell it.
Absolutely.
So why is the problem for mentality?
We made life very, very difficult for ourselves today. The result is fantastic. We're in the last four. It's amazing, but not happy with the performance.
In what sense?
In every sense. Because, again, the commitment is there, but we made life very, very difficult for us in the way we played, how we played. Sloppy, a lot of technical mistakes, not fast enough, not repetitive enough. We were lucky today.
Was that the occasion? Getting to the players?
I don't know, it's
mentality thing?
Nothing. No, it's no mentality.
Well, if you're not happy with the players?
This is pure mentality. How can you ask about mentality now? This is pure mentality. It's not about mentality.
No, I mean when the players had the problem, was that the mentality? What was it?
There's no mentality problem. This is pure mentality. This is pure mentality. You can bottle it up and sell it.
Absolutely.
So why is the problem for mentality? It's the quality of our games. That's it. This has nothing to do with mentality.
Well, what about in terms of the players who came in then? The adjustments you made?
Very good.
Reece James.
Very good.
You've backed Reece James a lot throughout your career.
Was excellent.
And Reece today.
Morgan Rogers was fantastic today. Ebbs grew into the game. Chet grew into the game. So full credit to them. But overall, we got lucky today.
Hi, Russell. Matt Asprey here. Just getting over the night before. Stressful game, wasn't it? Quite stressful. I didn't think England looked too good, but they're finding ways to win, which is sometimes all you need in the World Cup. But I felt, I don't know, it was just a bit weird. I think England looked quite frantic. They panicked quite a bit when they were attacking and defending. Norway just looked a lot calmer despite not offering too much. But Jude Bellingham, what a player, what a man. He's literally carrying the nation on his shoulders at the moment, especially when Harry Kane was kept very quiet during that quarter-final against Norway, which was a bit concerning. Usually you can rely on Kane to do something, but he just wasn't getting to anything in that game against Norway. So, yeah, we're through, but there's definitely plenty to improve on. We need to be a bit calmer, not panic as much. But I think the Mexico game took a lot out of them. But Argentina next, it's safe to say that's going to be a lot harder than Norway. The whole majority of the crowd will be Argentina, I reckon, and it's going to be a real bear pit. But if there's one man to mastermind a game plan in a bear pit, we've done it once against Mexico. We can do it again against Atlanta with Thomas Tuchel in charge. Come on, England.
So, it's Argentina in the semi-finals. We're going to cross to Buenos Aires in a moment. So let me just give you the rundown. England against Argentina, a fixture that's been played on 14 occasions. England winning 6, drawing 6, and we have lost 2. A fixture that has so much entwined within it. It's hard to know really where to start. Amazingly, we last met in a friendly in 2005 in a game played in Geneva, Switzerland, where with 5 minutes to go, we were 2-1 down. Michael Owen scored twice for us to win it. Before that, it was a victory in Sapporo, Japan, in the 2002 World Cup group stages. David Beckham's penalty dividing the pair. And of course, both Beckham and Owen played their part in the World Cup game in St Etienne, 1998. Of course, there was 1986. We've read, seen and talked all about that plenty of times. But there was also 1966, where we met in the quarter-finals. This after a previous victory against Mexico. And well, you don't need me to explain more. Argentina, how did they get to the World Cup? Of course, they qualified through the Combinó South American process, finishing top of the 10-team group. 18 games played, of which they won 12, drew 2 and lost 4. Those defeats coming against Uruguay, Colombia, Paraguay and Ecuador. All teams that have featured during this tournament. Of course, what I haven't mentioned yet is they are the current holders, winning the trophy back in 2022 in Qatar, beating France on penalties. So going into this tournament, they were a side to be feared, respected, admired. But just as they began the 2022 campaign, losing to Saudi Arabia, this tournament, from my own perspective, they've flattered to deceive. They were drawn in Group J, alongside Algeria, Austria and Jordan, winning 3-0, 2-0 and 3-1, respectively. The round of 32 match saw them paired against Cape Verde in one of the games of the tournament. A game taken to extra time with an own goal, settling it 3-2 to La Albacete. And it was then Egypt in the round of 16, another game that was, well, easy on the eye. This also in Atlanta, which is venue of the semi-final between us. Last-minute goal from Chelsea's Enzo Fernandez. Again, Argentina winning it 3-2. Then, in their quarter-final, this was the game that followed ours against Norway, they played Switzerland in Kansas City. I have to be honest, I hit the sack by this time. So it was highlights for me, Sunday morning. This, a game that also went to extra time after it was locked in at 1 apiece at 90 minutes. And this after Switzerland had been reduced to 10 men. Argentina went on to win it 3-1. I've come this far, and I've not mentioned him. Lionel Messi. Of course, I don't need to explain him to you, but I find it fascinating that as an individual with 205 caps, he has never faced England. And with this likely to be his last World Cup, well, it'd be great to wave him off to a third place match to play. Despite him never playing England, I've actually had the pleasure of seeing him on 3 occasions. By pure coincidence, I saw him make his La Liga debut in a game between Espanyol and Barcelona back in 2004 when he came on as a substitute. People knew how good he was then. Then in 2006 in a friendly between Brazil and Argentina at the Emirates Stadium, home of Arsenal, in a game that Brazil won 3-0. And then finally at the 2010 World Cup at Soccer City in Johannesburg, where Argentina saw off South Korea 4-1. Maradona was manager of Argentina then too. But back to Messi, currently second in the race for the Golden Boot. 8 goals, joint with Mbappe. Messi has 2 assists. He is only 1 assist behind the Frenchman. This all for a guy who turned 39 last month. Now, this is something I don't think I've said before. Let's cross to Buenos Aires and speak with Luciano Wernicke, author of 501 World Cup Moments and the Dark Side of the Copa Libertadores. Luciano, hello there.
Hello, Russell. Well, thank you very much for the invitation, and it's a real pleasure to talk to you. And in this moment, especially, we have a wonderful semi-final at the World Cup, so I am very, very happy to meet England in next Wednesday.
How is Argentina today waking up to this victory over Switzerland?
Well, late, because the game ended very late for local time, but the people is very happy. The next Wednesday will be a holiday because Any day in this World Cup, in which Argentina play, with the exception of Saturday, of course, or Sundays, there are no classes in every industry. All the people is living the World Cup. No classes, no work, no nothing, no coffee shops, no no banks, no nothing. I remember the last game against Egypt. I went to the pharmacy in the middle of the game, just 2 or 3 minutes from my home, and nobody. I saw nobody on the streets, and I remember one bar or coffee bar, all the employees watching the the game, and nobody at the pharmacy. So I went there, and I come back home very, very, very fast, because no people on the streets. Incredible. Yes. Like 3 a.m. in the morning,
Obviously, Argentina are World Cup winners at this present moment in time. Looking back on the celebrations of winning it previously, there were certainly people on the streets then.
Incredible. Millions. Some media said 5 or 6 million people, because Buenos Aires is a large city with 3 or 4 million people living there. But we have the great Buenos Aires around, like maybe 10, maybe 12 million people. So imagine, when we won the first World Cup in 1978, we had 25 millions. Now we have the double, 50 millions, more or less. So the celebration is, of course, large, because we have more people living here. But the national team is the only phenomenon who can put all the Argentine people together in the same side of any situation. Yes. Because for politics, we have the Peronist people here, the followers of the government we have now, with Javier Milei on the other side, or the radicals. It's a name, radical. There are no radical anyway, but it's a name. Or the people from Mauricio Macri, for example. And we all the time, all the people are. It's like a combat all the time in the media, in the social medias. But the national team is the only thing that put all the Argentine together, and in the middle of very deep economic troubles we have all the time,
Yeah.
in this century. But when you have a lot of people living with nothing, in the poverty, and the national team gave these people, something to be happy at least for a moment.
For 90 minutes.
I understand. Yeah, it's a sunshine, in the middle of the night. I understand if you go to the fridge and the fridge keep empty, you will be unhappy again. But just for a moment, you have something to celebrate. Yes. And the most interesting thing for me is all the nation is in the same, in the same side of the situation. I understand that happens in every country. But I know England, I know the UK, I visited the country many times, and I understand the living situation there is better than in Argentina for most of the people. I know you have poverty also, but not as big as we have here. And football in this case is something to have hope. Yes. To have hope. I am happy now, and I hope to be happy tomorrow if the government change and I can, receive some help from the top of the pyramid,
Yeah. Well, they've certainly had some exciting games, Argentina, this World Cup. I mean, obviously you got through the group stage, top. You then encountered
Cabo Verde first.
Cabo Verde, and then Egypt, and then Switzerland. It hasn't been straightforward, though, has it?
Well, I know. There are no wonderful rivals. I understand that. But today, football changed. Remember, for example, Germany 1974 with 16 teams, just 16.
Yes.
And you had there Zaire, like Congo today.
Right, yes.
And Zaire lost all the games against Scotland, Brazil, and Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Very easily. Yugoslavia, for example, beat Zaire 9-0, 9-0, yeah. So today, this is not what we have when in the World Cup. Argentina lost against Saudi Arabia in Qatar.
Yes.
Was our first game, and then we started, going up, and until to be champion. But remember what happened with England against Congo, Spain against Cabo Verde, and football changed. And on today, all the players, with the exception maybe Uzbekistan and Iran, but most of the players are playing in Europe.
Yeah.
So you have people from Cabo Verde in the major leagues, and sometimes they have to play in continental tournaments against the best players. So, yes, we have to play against Croatia, for example. And yes, I remember I played against Modric in the Champions League 2 years ago. So I know him. But 20 years ago, for the players to know the enemies or the rivals, you have to go to the Panini album to know the pictures, the faces. Who is this? This is Modric. Okay, I will play against this guy tomorrow. But now most of the players, I mean, we have 48 national teams, and most of the players play in Europe in the same competition, so they know. Always you have 1 or 2 or 3 players in every single team with experience to play against the most important players, like Modric, like Messi, like Cristiano Ronaldo, and whatever. And you have a lot of players in the second, third division, fourth division in England or Scotland. So they know the rivals. And today we have the television, and you may watch every single game around the world. 20 years ago was very different.
Yeah,
was very different. And I remember I had cable for the first time in 1986. And I remember one show there in ESPN in English with Martin Tyler as the commentator. The host was Martin Tyler, English soccer. And of course, yes, Gary Lineker from Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, I know him. I don't know, Steve Hodge or Peter Shilton from Derby County. But most of the population here in Argentina knew about the English player for the very first time on the pitch.
Yes.
In the Aztec Stadium against Argentina, or maybe watching the goals against Paraguay or Poland in that tournament, So now we know everything. My son, he will have 16. Now he's 15. In a couple of weeks, he will have 16. And do you remember where he's playing? That yeah, Papa. Yes, he's playing in Arsenal, man. Hey, because we watch the Premiership every single weekend, and of course because of the the PlayStation.
Of course.
He has all the players there to choose. We put, Sorloth from Atletico Madrid, and I choose, Erling Haaland from Manchester City, and Bellingham from Real Madrid to build my team, and the people now have more information about the players and the leagues and the teams, and that's fantastic for me. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, now of course the Argentina squad has players from the Premier League. Martinez in goal.
Thanks God, we have Martinez, Licha Martinez from Manchester United, and Cuti Romero from Tottenham, because they have the experience to play against people like Erling Haaland, for example. Now Kane is in Germany, but Cuti Romero was friend of Kane in Tottenham Hotspur, for example. So now there are no mysteries. When you go to the pitch, you already know who is your rival.
Yeah. Well,
unfortunately, we have a lot of people. Yeah, we have also Dibu Martinez as goalkeeper, and the experience to play in the first league in the world is incredible, because remember against Egypt, Martinez and Cuti Romero were the heroes because they have the experience. They are prepared because they play at the top of the list, at the hill.
Yeah. Well, it is a big game coming up with lots of history. How can you see it going?
Oh, for me, will be a real pleasure, because I will drink champagne during the game, let me tell you. Because for me, it's a wonderful show. I am in Buenos Aires, but anyway, I enjoy like to be there. I have 56 years old, and I had 16 when Diego Maradona scored twice against England in Mexico, and that was one of the best moments for me as teenager.
Yes.
But not because of the second goal, because it was, to enjoy a wonderful, wonderful game between two great teams. I told you, I knew most of the players, English players, because of English football with Martin Tyler, and of course the Argentinian, because most of the players were playing here in local clubs, and for me it was an incredible. And we had two more clashes. One in 1998 in France, in Marseille, by penalties, and I remember the red card to David Beckham. And the other one was in Japan.
Yes.
At the Sapporo Stadium. And you won 1-0 thanks to a David Beckham penalty. And thanks to Marcelo Bielsa as well. Because Argentina had 3 points. We won over Nigeria. And England, the first game was against Sweden. A tie, 1-1.
1-1.
So, with the obligation to win for England, we attack blind, and you had the possibility to do the counter-attacks by that wonderful player from Liverpool, Michael Owen. Michael Owen, very fast and very skilly, wonderful. So, and we knew him because of France, but Bielsa is a mystery. I don't know what he has into his head, because against Cabo Verde, for example, Uruguay went to the mid-time with a win, 2-1, and they had to wait and play, with counter-attacks, trying to conserve the advantage. And I don't know what is doing. But for me, it was very bad experience. And I remember exactly that game in Sapporo. Was very early here.
Yeah.
And I went to my mother's house to watch the game with my brother, and was a very bitter experience because we had 2 wins over England at that moment. And
it's a very tight fixture. There's so many little subplots that could play out. We've got 2 fantastic players on each side, both number 10s, Jude Bellingham, Lionel Messi. Can you even choose between them? I'm sure you can.
No, I can. Yes, because for me, football is more than a sport. I live writing football books. So it's a real pleasure to work in something what we love as a writer and as a football lover. And Lionel Messi gave me the best moments in my life, because it's not the same watch a football match with your father, for example, and your brother, than to watch a match with your 2 kids, side by side, embracing them and celebrating with them the goals or the penalty shootout in Qatar, for example, against France. For me, the experience to be father and to enjoy the games with my kids is the most incredible situation in my life. And thanks Leo Messi, thanks Leo, because you gave me the best moments as a football fan. I know Jude Bellingham is a great player. And of course I watched the game against Norway and his 2 goals and everything. We have to be careful of him, because now maybe he's better than Leo as a single player, as an individuality.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
And but Leo is a magician, so maybe he will do some tricks against England. I hope so.
Yes, I appreciate that Lionel Messi has obviously won so much, and Jude Bellingham is really still at the beginning of his career, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. And he and Kylian Mbappe playing together in Real Madrid, they will be a wonderful couple, I think. I think Real Madrid can win not 1, not 2, maybe 3 Champions League with them. Absolutely.
Yeah, 2. We're living in an era of some very incredible players in the football world. Your book, 501 World Cup Moments.
Yeah,
there it is. You're showing me.
Now it's a little bit old now, this book, but
I mean, it's available through Pitch Publishing. There must be what other moments of this World Cup have you seen that you think, that's a moment?
No, a lot. Because we had more games, of course, more teams, more games, and the emotion in every of them, was incredible, because we had changes, scores all the time. One, for example, Egypt 2, Argentina 0, and we won 3-2. That game is something amazing, especially for the Argentinians, I know. But Cabo Verde qualifying in the 2nd place over Uruguay, for example, and Canada winning their first games, for example. They played in Mexico 1986 and in Qatar without goals,
yes.
for example. And I don't know. Now my head is full of football. The winning game of Norway against Brazil, for example, with that 2 wonderful goals by Haaland. I don't know. A lot of games, a lot of situation, incredible situation, and a lot of broken records, because Cristiano Ronaldo is the oldest player to score twice in one game, for example. Lionel Messi scoring 9 games in a row, and the old record was 6 by the French the French top scorer in Sweden 1958, and Jairzinho in Mexico 1970. And Lionel Messi being the top scorer in the World Cup history, and Kylian Mbappé very, very close, just 1 goal now, and we don't know what happened at the end. And records and extremely situations. This World Cup is one of the best I ever seen.
It has been one of the best on the pitch.
Sorry, and the best semi-finals: France, Spain, Argentina, England. Oh, it's like a menu, you know. It's
mouth-watering.
No, if you told me 1 month ago, I told you, yes, I prefer France and Spain and England and Argentina, and we have it now. It's incredible. The best games we can have here in this World Cup.
Do you think Argentina can retain the World Cup?
It's very hard. Very hard to say. We have a word here. What word in Spanish is Kabbalah? Kabbalah is a ritual. It's a ritual to attract the luck, you know. And for example, Carlos Vilardo in Mexico, 1986, had a lot of Kabbalahs, a lot of rituals, and as a fan, I can't answer your question, but as I don't know, journalist maybe, I see a wonderful final with France, of course, and I don't know what happened with Kylian Mbappé ankle, because I remember the last match when he left the pitch, he had ice, you know, in the ankle, and I don't know what is his condition. I know now the national teams has the best doctors and the best equipment to recover the players, but that's the key, Kylian Mbappé. But it's not him alone, like maybe Messi or Bellingham. Well, we have Kane also. France has a lot of wonderful players. Dembélé, Olise, I don't know. They can build 2 or 4 teams, different teams with the wonderful players they have, and maybe if you put 4 Frances here in this World Cup, maybe you have 2 or 3 France in the semi-finals. I don't know.
It's a very strong semi-final lineup.
Yeah,
very strong. Yes.
Yeah, the show is guaranteed.
Yes, it has certainly been a World Cup of a show, really, hasn't it? And I think
but these semi-finals are better than the Qatar or Russia or I don't know, because you have one game from America, 3 from Europe, and England with the best, for far the best league in the world, and a lot of players playing now in England, well, with the exception of Kylian Mbappé, of course, and Dembélé in Paris Saint-Germain, but a lot of players from that competition, so they know each other, and I think we will have a great games.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. The game is on Wednesday. It's Wednesday evening in the UK. What time will it be in Argentina?
4 or 5 p.m. I don't remember.
Argentina,
but more or less 4 or 5 p.m. Yes.
All businesses
in the afternoon. Sorry,
close.
In the afternoon. Yes. Yes. Normally the schools close at noon, and sometimes at the offices and the shops, the workers are free to go home to watch the game. And I don't know, it's football is a power religion.
Yeah,
powerful religion.
Well, I look forward to it, as I'm sure you do. Luciano, thank you so much for joining me to have a chat, to explain about the Argentine passion for the game. I really appreciate your time, and maybe we can chat once again in the future.
Of course, Russell. Yes, please, whenever you want. I'm here, and I wish you a wonderful game for all of us. And if you win, please be champion.
We shall see. I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Okay. Me too, anyway. But for Argentina, of course.
Of course. Thank you so much to Luciano there. What an insight. I know that there will be a lot said about various historical things off the field in the run-up to this game. But at the end of the day, it was lovely to just chat with him on a football level and learn more. It's clear we all just love the game in our own way, and of course we each want to win. I mentioned his books, 501 World Cup Moments, The Dark Side of the Copa Libertadores, which that sounds a great read. One we didn't mention is entitled Inside Diego. You can find them all online and at various bookstores. So once again, thank you so much to Luciano, and also thank you to Chris at Pitch Publishing for setting me up with Luciano there. So I'm not quite sure what else to say. I'm just as nervous as you are. All I can say really is enjoy the game. As I've said before, if you are there over in the States, in Atlanta, please cheer them on for all of us back home. I'll be back with you very soon with some more England-related content. Hopefully, just hopefully, talking about England in a World Cup final. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.